Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we live. And let's continue our NFL Mount Rushmore series by position. Yesterday we did the defensive ends. Today we're going to do defensive tackles. So in these Mount Rushmores by positions, I attempt to name the 4 best players in NFL history at each position. As a subjective list, let me know in the comments who you would include. Of course, as all of these, it is not easy to choose just 4, so at the end I'll have a bunch of honorable mentions. So let's get into it. I name the players in alphabetical order by last name. They are not ranked. Let's start with an active player, that being the great Aaron Donald, selected 13th overall in the 2014 NFL Draft, has played 9 seasons in the NFL, 138 games. He already has totaled 103 sacks in his career while forcing 24 fumbles. Started his career off with a bang as he was named the Defensive Rookie of the Year. And he has 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards, 2017, 2018, 2020. He's also finished 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th in Defensive Player of the Year. In 2018, he led the league with 20.5 sacks. That's one of 6 seasons in which he's had at least 11 sacks, which is mighty impressive coming from the interior of the defensive line. He helped guide the Rams to a Super Bowl championship in the 2021 season, where he arguably could have been named Super Bowl MVP. They did give it to Cooper Kupp, but seen as undersized by some, just 6'1", 280. Aaron Donald is just an explosive player. Again, still at the age of, he'll turn 32 on May 23rd, so he's got, a decent amount of time still left to move his way up the all-time sack leaders. Aaron Donald, the first member of the defensive tackles Mount Rushmore. Next, let's go with a former Cowboy, that being Bob Lilly. So Lilly was selected 13th overall in the 1961 NFL Draft, was a first ballot Hall of Famer in 1980. Lilly played 14 seasons, all with the Cowboys, while sacks were an official stat in his time. He is credited with 95.5, including 3 seasons in which he's reached double-digit totals. Lilly was often seen as one of the best defensive tackles in the game, being named to 10 straight Pro Bowls from 1964 to 1973. Also was named in 1962. Was named to 6 straight first-team All-Pros from 1964 to 1969, while also being named the first-team All-Pro in 1971. In 1971, he finished as the runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. The following season, he finished 4th. He also had AP MVP finishes of 4th, 7th, and 9th in his career. He was a member of the Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl championship in Super Bowl VI, part of the NFL's 1960s and 1970s All-Decade team, a member of the NFL 75th and 100th anniversary team. Played in 196 games, starting all 196. He never missed a game. So back then, seasons were 14 games long. He started and played in all 14 games each of his 14 seasons. Bob Lilly, the second member of the defensive tackle Mount Rushmore. Next, let's go with the great Merlin Olsen, selected 3rd overall by the Rams in the 1962 NFL Draft, first ballot Hall of Famer in 1982. Olsen played 15 seasons in the NFL, all with the Rams, playing in 208 games total. Amazingly, he was named to 14 Pro Bowls. So each of his first 14 seasons, he was named to the Pro Bowl. That is an NFL record by a defensive player, and just one behind Tom Brady for most in NFL history. Brady had 15. Olsen was named a first-team All-Pro for 5 straight seasons from 1966 to 1970. Had AP MVP finishes of 8th and 9th in his career. Like Lilly, sacks were not an official stat in his time, but Pro Football Reference credits him with 91 for his career. Had an interception return for a touchdown as a rookie. Was also member of the 1960 and 1970s All-Decade team, 75th and 100th anniversary all-time teams. His number 74 is retired by the Rams. Merlin Olsen, the 3rd member of the defensive tackle Mount Rushmore. And let's end with the first player to be named MVP as a defensive player. That is Alan Page, selected 15th overall in the 1967 NFL Draft, inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1988. So he played a total of 15 seasons in the NFL, most of it coming with the Vikings, some with the Bears. All in all, credited with 148 and a half sacks. Again, sack was not an official stat in his time. But again, 1971 was named the league's MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. Only Lawrence Taylor since has been a Defensive Player to win MVP. He also has Defensive Player of the Year finishes of fourth twice and finished third in AP MVP voting in the previous season, 1970. He has a total of 7 seasons where he was credited with double-digit sacks, including a career high of 18 coming in 1976. Played a long time, 218 games in his career, part of the 1970s All-Decade team. He was named to 9 Pro Bowls and was 9 in a row from 1968 to 1976, 5-time first team All-Pro, part of the NFL's 100th anniversary all-time team. His number 88 is retired by the Vikings. Alan Page, the 4th member of the defensive tackles Mount Rushmore. So again, in alphabetical order, we have Aaron Donald, Bob Lilly, Merlin, Olsen, and Alan Page. Probably the toughest guy for me to leave off was Randy White, the all-time great Dallas Cowboy player. But some other honorable mentions include Warren Sapp, John Randall, Leo Nomaleni, Buck Buchanan, Bryant Young, Richard Seymour, Cortez Kennedy. I could have named a bunch more, but there you have it, the defensive tackles Mount Rushmore. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. So tomorrow, I think we'll do outside linebackers, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.